Taurus. As the ninth day of the ninth month arrives, the air carries more weight than the turning of another page on the calendar. What many call the 999 portal is not just a pattern of numbers, but a threshold placed deliberately in front of you. An opening where the universe pauses and waits to see if you are ready to move into a new cycle. This is not a doorway you can stroll through without awareness. It is a test that quietly asks you to decide what parts of your past you will continue to carry and what you will finally set down. For you, whose sign is rooted in earth and often anchored in what is steady and familiar, this moment is not about rushing into something new, but about releasing the weight that no longer allows you to stand firmly in your own strength. Do not mistake this energy as a free gift that falls into your lap without effort. Because the truth is, the universe is not offering you comfort but alignment. The portal exposes the attachments, the habits, and the responsibilities that have followed you like shadows even when you wished for light. Taurus, you know better than most that holding on can feel safer than letting go. That the familiar, even when heavy, feels easier to bear than the uncertainty of release. But the 999 portal does not wait for hesitation. It confronts you with the truth that if you do not consciously release what no longer serves you, you will carry it into another cycle. And it will weigh you down again and again until you are willing to let it go. This is not about ritual for the sake of ritual. It is about recognition. It is about looking honestly at the beliefs, the fears, and the patterns that have silently dictated your choices, and deciding whether they will continue to shape your future. The portal does not demand perfection, it demands presence, and for Taurus, this means asking yourself where you have clung too tightly, where you have resisted change even when you felt the strain, and whether you are willing to step into a chapter that offers you more freedom, more alignment, and more clarity than the cycles you have repeated until now. Taurus, when the 999 portal opens before you, the first and perhaps the most difficult challenge is not an external obstacle that you can see and confront, but an internal weight that clings quietly to your mind and heart, shaping every choice you make without you even realizing it. These are the outdated beliefs, the codes you wrote into your life long ago. Not because you were careless, but because they helped you survive. They gave you a sense of order when the world felt unpredictable. And they offered you a sense of security when you needed something to lean on. At one point, these beliefs acted as pillars. They gave you the courage to keep working, the strength to endure difficulties, and the determination to hold on when everything around you was shifting. But what you must face now, Taurus, is the truth that what once served as armor has hardened into a cage. You are no longer in the same chapter where those beliefs were necessary, yet you continue to carry them as if they are unshakable truths. And this is where the danger lies. Consider the belief that love must always demand sacrifice. For much of your journey, you may have told yourself that real love requires giving until it hurts, staying loyal even when it drains you, proving your devotion by carrying more than your fair share of the weight. This belief may have been born out of early lessons, perhaps watching others model relationships where endurance was mistaken for love, or perhaps through experiences where giving was the only way you felt certain you would be accepted. In those moments, the belief protected you. It kept you in connection with others even when the connection came at a cost. And it allowed you to feel secure in bonds that might otherwise have slipped away. But now, Taurus, what once allowed you to belong has become the very pattern that keeps you tied to relationships that do not honor your worth. The 999 portal asks you directly, do you want to carry this code into your future? Knowing that it will echo louder and louder until you finally decide to let it go. Then there is the belief that success must always come through relentless struggle, that money is earned only through the sacrifice of rest, joy, or peace, that the harder the road, the more deserving you become. This belief, too, was once a source of strength. It may have pushed you to climb when others gave up. It may have allowed you to persist when every sign said to stop. And it may have instilled in you a work ethic that has carried you to certain milestones. Yet, what is the cost of carrying this belief into the present moment? You find yourself exhausted, repeating cycles of effort without feeling the reward, pouring more and more of yourself into proving you deserve the very stability that should come naturally to you. The universe is not asking you to abandon discipline or perseverance, Taurus, but it is asking you to release the belief that struggle must be the constant price of every blessing. Because if you continue to carry this code into the portal, it will multiply, and you will find that no matter how much you achieve, it always feels tied to exhaustion and sacrifice. Perhaps the heaviest of all is the belief that your worth is measured by how much you can carry for others, that your value lies not in who you are, but in what you can provide, solve, or hold together. This belief, too, was born in survival. Maybe it came from childhood moments where being useful, dependable, or strong was the only way you felt safe or loved. Maybe it developed over years of being the one who others leaned on, the one who always stayed steady when others fell apart. In those times, this belief gave you purpose. It allowed you to be needed, and being needed felt like being secure. But Taurus, as you step into this portal, you must see that being endlessly dependable has come at a cost. You have buried parts of yourself beneath the constant weight of responsibility. You have silenced your own needs in order to meet the needs of others. And you have convinced yourself that rest, softness, or asking for help are luxuries you cannot afford. This belief has given you an identity, but it has also taken from you the freedom to exist simply as you are. The 999 portal does not open to punish you for these beliefs, nor to shame you for carrying them. It opens as a mirror, asking you to recognize that what was once essential has now become a burden, and that if you do not consciously release these codes, they will harden into the foundation of your next chapter. The danger is not that you will fail, but that you will succeed while still shackled to the same outdated scripts, building a future on top of the very weight you are meant to set down. And Taurus, if anyone understands the importance of foundations, it is you. For you are the sign that builds slowly, deliberately, and with care. What you build now will last, but you must decide whether it will last as a prison or as a sanctuary. This release cannot be left as an abstract idea floating in your mind. Because you thrive when the tangible meets the spiritual gate. The universe urges you not only to notice these beliefs, but to name them, to bring them into the open where you can no longer pretend they are invisible. Write them down, without censoring yourself, without trying to soften the truth. Write, I release the belief that I must suffer to deserve success. I release the belief that love must wound me before it can hold me. I release the belief that my worth depends only on what I do for others. And once you have written them, do not let the page remain intact. Tear it. Burn it safely. Bury it beneath the earth. Or release it into water. Make the act physical. Undeniable. Final. In that act, you are telling the universe and your own subconscious, these words no longer define me. And once you release, you must replace. Empty space without new intention will only call back the same old patterns. But when you declare new truths, you rewire your energy. Say, I allow success to flow with ease and alignment. Say, I am worthy of love that uplifts and nourishes me. Say, I honor my worth by tending to my own needs as much as I tend to others. These are not empty affirmations. Taurus, they are new codes. And when you speak them aloud, you anchor them into your field. You invite the universe to echo them back to you. And you step into the portal lighter than you entered. This is the first and most crucial step of the 999 portal. Because whatever beliefs you bring through will not dissolve, they will expand. If they are heavy, they will weigh you down more than ever. If they are freeing, they will open space in your life for blessings you could not have imagined. The question Taurus, is not whether you can hold on, but whether you are ready to release. This challenge is the tendency to overthink the signs that the universe places in front of you, a pattern that feels safe in the moment but often leaves you standing still while the energy of momentum slips past you. As an earth sign, your nature is to move carefully, to weigh your options, to test the ground before you step forward. This is part of what makes you steady, loyal, and reliable. But under the amplified energy of a cosmic doorway like this, the same habit of carefulness can easily transform into hesitation, doubt, and missed opportunities. You have always been sensitive to patterns, even if you do not always admit it. You notice when the same number appears more than once on a clock. You sense the weight of a dream that feels more like a message than a random image. And you recognize when certain phrases seem to echo through conversations around you. Deep down, you know these are not coincidences. They are breadcrumbs, laid in your path to reassure you that you are aligned with something larger than yourself. Yet your instinct, Taurus, is often to ask again and again, what if I am misreading this? What if I am inventing meaning where there is none? What if trusting this leads me into disappointment? In your search for certainty, you can easily trap yourself in loops of analysis, dissecting every sign until the clarity it once carried is buried beneath layers of doubt. The danger here is not that you will misinterpret a sign, but that you will paralyze yourself trying to interpret it perfectly. The universe does not send you signs as puzzles to be solved. It sends them as confirmations to be trusted. The point is not to prove your intelligence by decoding every detail, but to strengthen your willingness to act when the moment arrives. And this is the very test of the 999 portal, whether you can move with trust instead of waiting for proof. Because when you wait, Taurus, the energy stalls, the portal multiplies momentum, not hesitation. It is like a train that arrives only once in a rare cycle, opening its doors for a short time. If you stand on the platform endlessly debating whether it is the right train, the doors will close and the opportunity will pass. And you will be left wondering what might have been. You are not asked to abandon your discernment. Discernment is one of your greatest strengths, but discernment does not mean endless delay. Nor does it mean tearing every sign apart until it loses its power. It means feeling the nudge, acknowledging the message, and asking the simplest question possible: what is the smallest act of trust I can take right now? If you see repeating numbers, perhaps it is an invitation to pause and affirm your intention. If a thought or idea returns to you 3 times in a single day, perhaps it is asking you to write it down and take the first small step toward it. If a person appears in your mind repeatedly, perhaps it is time to reach out rather than dismiss it as coincidence. These are not monumental actions, but they are bridges between hesitation and momentum. And under the energy of the 999 portal, even the smallest action can ripple forward into dramatic change. Overthinking feels like control, Taurus, and control feels safe. You believe that if you can analyze deeply enough, you can avoid mistakes, sidestep disappointment, and guarantee success. But what you must understand is that overthinking is often fear wearing the mask of caution. It convinces you that stillness is protection, but in reality, stillness becomes stagnation. The universe does not ask you to know every outcome. It asks you to trust the step in front of you. When you take that step, the next one is revealed, and then the next, until suddenly the path you could not see before has unfolded beneath your feet. If you ignore the signs, or if you bury them under endless analysis, you will feel the portal's energy pass by without carrying you. You may sense the power of the day, the heightened synchronicities, the restlessness inside you, but afterward, you will be left with the ache of missed momentum, the feeling that something could have shifted if only you had dared to act. On the other hand, if you choose trust over paralysis, if you step forward even without perfect clarity, you will discover that the universe does not punish missteps taken in faith. Instead, It adjusts the path, redirects you gently, and rewards your willingness to move. This is why overthinking the signs is such a dangerous mistake during the 999 portal. It is not only about missing opportunities, but about signaling to the universe that you do not trust its guidance. And when you show distrust, the flow narrows. When you show trust, the flow expands. This is the pivot point for you. Taurus, will you continue to demand certainty before every move? Or will you let the signs guide you forward into the unknown? Trusting that the ground will hold when you place your foot upon it, the final and most decisive test of the 999 portal is not simply about what you release or how you respond to the signs, but about whether you are willing to use your voice when it matters most. Silence has always been a complicated companion for you. On one hand, it brings you peace, grounding, and the ability to process slowly in your own time. You are not a sign that rushes into words without thought, and this has often spared you from mistakes born of haste. Yet there is another kind of silence, one that does not heal but hides. It is the silence that convinces you to hold back from declaring your truth, to bury your desires under layers of caution, to swallow words that could shift your path because you fear they might be judged, rejected, or misunderstood. It is this silence that the portal warns against. Because without declaration, the energy cannot complete itself. The universe can see your inner work, the beliefs you have released, and the signs you have trusted, but until you give voice to what you claim, it is as if the last key remains unturned in the lock. Your silence, Taurus, may feel protective, but in reality it signals indecision. And in the language of the cosmos, indecision is still a choice. It is the choice not to step through the doorway, the choice to let the moment pass, the choice to remain on the threshold of change while the opportunity waits only briefly before closing again. This is why the 999 portal places such emphasis on the act of declaration. You are being asked not only to know your truth, but to speak it, because sound carries frequency, and frequency creates reality. This does not mean you must make a dramatic announcement to the world, nor does it mean you must prove anything to anyone. The universe is not demanding a stage. It is asking for alignment. To speak your truth might look as simple as writing your intentions on paper and reading them aloud, allowing the vibration of your own voice to anchor them. It might mean sharing your vision quietly with someone you trust, so that your words exist outside of your mind and take root in the air around you. For some, it may feel right to declare their intentions in meditation, speaking them softly into the stillness of their room, while others may feel called to write a message, record a video, or state their goals in a way that brings them into visible form. The form does not matter. The act does. Consider, Taurus, how many times your silence has delayed your progress. Perhaps you had opportunities you did not claim because you were waiting for the perfect time. Perhaps you loved deeply but stayed quiet, convincing yourself that withholding your truth was safer than risking vulnerability. Perhaps you longed for change but spoke only to yourself, never allowing your words to meet the ears of others or the presence of the universe. Each time you stayed silent, you thought you were preserving safety, yet in truth you were agreeing to delay. You were telling the universe, I am not ready to claim what is mine. And the universe, always listening, mirrored that back to you by withholding the doors that would have opened if only you had spoken. Imagine now, Taurus, the difference when you dare to declare. Imagine saying aloud, I am ready for financial freedom that does not drain me. Imagine whispering, I allow love to arrive that honors and uplifts me. Imagine writing with conviction, I step into work that reflects my true worth. When these words leave your lips or your hand, the energy shifts. Suddenly, opportunities align. Conversations open, synchronicities fall into place, and doors that were once shut seem to loosen without effort. This is not magic in the sense of illusion, it is resonance. The universe needs your frequency to respond, and your voice is the transmitter. The greatest risk in this moment is not that you will speak too soon or say the wrong thing, but that you will remain silent and never allow the energy to activate. The 999 portal magnifies momentum, and momentum requires sound. Declaration. The courage to claim what you desire. Silence, in this context, is the equivalent of turning away from the open doorway. You may feel the energy brush against you. You may sense its power. But afterward, you will be left with the hollow ache of what might have been. Taurus, you are not being asked to be loud, only to be true. You are not being asked to perform, only to align. The universe is not waiting for perfection, but for participation. Speak your truth in whatever way feels authentic, and know that by doing so, you have given the portal permission to open fully, carrying you into a chapter that is no longer bound by the silence of fear but shaped by the sound of courage. Your voice, steady and rooted, is the final key. Use it, and the doorway will not only open, it will stay open long enough for you to walk through without hesitation. Taurus, as the 999 portal stands open before you, the universe is not asking for more struggle, nor is it testing you for the sake of difficulty. It is offering you a rare and sacred checkpoint, a moment where you can choose to reset the foundation of your life and step into a timeline that carries more alignment, more peace, and more freedom than the one you have known. The 3 mistakes we have uncovered: clinging to outdated beliefs, overthinking the signs, and staying silent when you are meant to speak, are not punishments. They are mirrors. They show you the patterns that have kept you circling back to the same lessons, even when you thought you had moved beyond them. And now, under the amplified light of this portal, the cost of repeating them will feel heavier, but the reward of releasing them will feel greater than ever before. You are not being asked to abandon who you are, Taurus, because who you are, steady, loyal, grounded, and enduring, is the very strength that will carry you across this threshold. You are being asked to shed what no longer belongs to you, to trust that the signs you see are enough to guide your steps, and to declare with your own voice the life you are choosing to enter. This is how you transform the weight of the past into the soil of your future. This is how you move from survival into creation. So as this moment arrives, do not stand at the doorway burdened by beliefs that have expired, frozen by doubts that never end, or silenced by fear of your own truth. Write what you are releasing, act on the signs that appear, and speak what you are ready to claim. Do this, and the 999 portal will not simply be a date you live through, it will be the moment you chose to live differently. The universe is listening, Taurus, and your next chapter is waiting. The only question is whether you will step forward and claim it as your own.